The success does not necessarily mean to create or establish $100 million company or a unicorn. It's also when people bring joy to the life of their families, friends, colleagues, parents, and above all, make a better life for themselves. So, in this videos, which I'll be presenting to you, I'll be talking to such people as I believe their stories are more relatable and the success which they have achieved in their life can be replicated by others. So, my guest for tonight is Mr. Suman Saurabh, who is an ISB Hyderabad alumni and has various other much desired achievements in his kitty, which a lot of us haven't even dreamt ever, just because we thought it's either difficult or maybe impossible. To add a little more, uh, he is an IIT Mumbai dropout. However, he completed his engineering course from IIT Kanpur as chemical engineer. He has also been an UPSC aspirant and has worked in some of giant organizations earlier. But his journey has not been as smooth as it seems. It has a lot of personal, medical, professional struggles attached to it. So let's go and hear it directly in his words. Hi, Suman.
Hi, Sharad. Glad to meet you.
Yeah, good to see you after so long.
Yeah.
So, Suman, I gave my viewers a little background about you, and ये सारा बताया कि आप अभी कहाँ पे हो और कहाँ से पढ़ा, क्या किया। पर ये सब कुछ मैं आपके मुंह से भी सुनना चाहता हूँ और थोड़ी डिटेल में सुनना चाहता हूँ। So, like you have always been considered as a if not genius, a very good, brilliant student. And that has been the case since the beginning. बिल्कुल बचपन से ऐसा रहा है। तो पहले तो आप मुझे ये बताएं कि बचपन में कहाँ से शुरुआत करी और कभी इस चीज का प्रेशर रहा क्या कि दुनिया आपको एक बहुत अच्छे स्टूडेंट के तौर पर अ, देखती है, आपके आसपास के लोग ऐसा समझते हैं?
So, just a minor correction. I don't think I am a genius or so as to say a very bright student. But thank you for that. So, I think we know both of us have started from the same school, and we have kind of started from the kindergarten and seen our own childhood, right? So uh, we know each other's humble beginnings. So I'd say कि yeah, मतलब बिहार में जहाँ से आप रहते हो, uh, it has given you a lot of perspective, and wherever I am, whatever I am doing, uh, that has been an output of my upbringing, I would say, because कहीं ना कहीं वो था कि even if I'm not that bright, or even if I'm not so big a genius, I have to make it up through my hard work, which in today's era is more so replaceable with the smart work. So हमारे जमाने में वो hard work ही चलता था. So both of us can actually empathize with that state जहाँ पे हम लोग उस तरफ से आते थे. So yeah, it was a bit of a pressure in a while, because once you start doing good in your academics, तो लोग expect करते हैं और ये सारी चीजें, but then उससे आपको एक तरीके से प्रोत्साहन भी मिलता है. You get a motivation to work hard and prove yourself and all of that. So,
तो कभी
yeah.
ऐसा नहीं लगा कि मैं मेहनत करता हूँ और लोगों को ऐसा लगता है कि ये खुद ब खुद हो जा रहा है?
Uh, so I'd say कि ऐसा तो नहीं लगा, बिकॉज मेहनत और रिजल्ट करीब करीब साथ ही में चलता था. सो इफ वी रिकॉल ऑफ आवर चाइल्डहुड डेज, तो जब हमने साथ में शुरू किया एंड वी स्टार्टेड टॉपिंग इन आवर क्लासेस, रेस्पेक्टिव सेक्शंस एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट, सो लोग बोलते थे डेफिनेटली आपके लिए भी, और मेरे लिए भी कि देखो ये लोग अच्छा कर रहे हैं पढ़ाई में, बट both of us knew कि जो भी हमारे बैकग्राउंड में जा रहा है, whatever hard work we could put in, although there were quite a brilliant and so as to say genius people in our batches and we know them जो काफी talented थे, but although we were not up to that mark, but then we kind of made sure to work harder in that sense.
सो हमें थोड़ा अपने स्कूल लाइफ के बारे में बताइए, आपने कहाँ से शुरू किया? और मैं ये जानता हूँ, बट मेरे व्यूअर्स के लिए आपने कहाँ से शुरू किया, और बचपन कैसा था, थोड़ा सा उस पे।
Sure. So, बचपन काफी हम्बल रहा. So, मेरे फादर he was in a bank. He was a bank clerk at that time, and वो गांव से आए थे, from a native place, and he was the first one to get out of his village by far, I remember. So, और अपने भाइयों में भी. So, it was a challenge for him, but पटना में हमारा एक एक कमरे में हम लोग रहते थे, एंड आई एम श्योर यू रिमेम्बर दैट. एंड आई
बिल्कुल।
हैव काइंड ऑफ टेकन लिफ्ट आपके साइकिल पे, और सब कुछ हम लोग स्कूल जाते थे एक ही रिक्शा से, एंड ऑल दैट. सो स्कूल जर्नी वाज रियली गुड इन टर्म्स ऑफ व्हाटएवर फ्रेंड्स वी कुड मेक अप फ्रॉम दैट टाइम, एंड आज तक हमारी बॉन्डिंग है. प्लस एक चीज थी जो हमें शुरू से पता था, एज आई हैव टोल्ड यू मेनी अ टाइम्स, दैट मेरे पिताजी कहते थे कि लाइफ में सबको काम बराबर करना पड़ता है. आइदर यू डू इट नाउ और you'll have to do it later. So I thought वो सारी चीजें काम करी, and I could see his hard work, and that kind of inspired me to work hard.
Yeah, I still give that example to anybody whom I am talking to, that everyone works equally. If not now, then in future. You decide when you have to do it. Okay. For most part of your life, आप academics से बहुत जुड़े रहे. इनफैक्ट एज ए स्टूडेंट तो जुड़े ही रहे. उसके बाद भी,
Yeah.
स्टूडेंट लाइफ के बाद भी आप एकेडमिक्स और प्रोफेशनल दोनों साथ साथ चलता रहा. तो आप, तो थोड़ा पहले हमारे व्यूअर्स के लिए आप ये बताएं कि आपका एकेडमिक लाइफ कैसा था, और आपने क्या क्या किया, और उसके बाद फिर आगे की बात करते हैं.
तो मैंने अपनी पढ़ाई, जैसे मैंने कहा, मैंने सेंट केविंस पटना से करी. फर्स्ट से टेंथ तक मैं सेंट केविंस में था. एंड देयर आफ्टर आई वेंट टू साइंस कॉलेज पटना फॉर माय इंटरमीडिएट. उस समय आईएससी होता था. And post that I kind of prepared for IIT JEE along with my 12th, so could not get it first and second time. So then I got IIT Bombay, uh, and IIT Bombay से दोबारा मैंने JEE क्रैक किया, and then I went to IIT कानपुर. और फिर IIT कानपुर, सो मतलब जर्नी तो लंबी रही है, बट टू कट इट शॉर्ट, IIT कानपुर से
नहीं,
मैं मेरी पहली.
आप बताओ, मैं डिटेल में आऊंगा.
Right, right. So IIT Kanpur say my first job because it was a recession period. I remember 2009 में. So after 2.5 months, I got my first job in Steel Authority of India, SAIL में. And वहाँ पे मैं 3-4 महीने रहा. Then I resigned. Then I went to Surya Roshni. I was there for 6 months. फिर मैं BlackRock में गया. After a year
ब्लैक
out
रॉक
of
फाइनेंस.
IIT, ब्लैक रॉक, या ब्लैक रॉक जो ब्लैकस्टोन प्राइवेट इक्विटी है, उनकी सिस्टर कंसर्न ब्लैक रॉक. सो
ओके.
इट्स द लार्जेस्ट मनी मैनेजर इन द वर्ल्ड. सो I was doing pretty well there, but being from Bihar, and my parents' dream, in fact, I had also worked in multiple sectors, so मुझे लगा कि अभी कुछ नया करते हैं, मजा नहीं आ रहा है. So I wanted to appear for civil services, और उसी समय ये ONGC का एडवर्टीजमेंट देखा. So because I wanted to take out some time out of my job to prepare for this. एंड तब मैंने ओएनजीसी में अप्लाई किया, उनके स्टेजेस निकाले. सो आई गॉट थ्रू ओएनजीसी, एंड सो ब्रेक नहीं रहा करियर में फॉर दैट मैटर. सो आई वाज वर्किंग एंड आई वाज स्टडीइंग एज वेल. और उसके बाद मैंने एक दो बार इंटरव्यू में भी गया बट कुड नॉट फाइनली क्रैक इट। और अभी आईएसबी में हूँ, सो ग्रेजुएशन, नियरिंग ग्रेजुएशन। So
इतने
this has
सारे
been my
ग्रेजुएशन?
yeah.
नहीं, अच्छी बात है। तो अभी आपने एक बहुत यूनिक बात बोली कि आप पहले स्कूलिंग स्कूलिंग के बाद साइंस कॉलेज से पढ़ा, बट उसके बाद आपने 2 साल की तैयारी करी। जहां तक
हम्म,
मुझे याद है शायद
हम्म,
आप प्रीलिम्स निकल गई थी, बट मेंस में थोड़ा कुछ कमी रह गई थी। सो
right,
आफ्टर 2 years यू एंडेड अप एट आईआईटी मुंबई, और
Mumbai,
फिर वहां से फिर से छोड़ के आईआईटी कानपुर ज्वाइन किया।
right, right.
तो यार, लोगों को एक बार नहीं मिलता, आप दो दो बार आईआईटी क्रैक कर रहे हो, तो आखिर आखिर ये चक्कर क्या है?
Uh, so I think there are few not, I'd say difficult question, but yeah, weird kind of decision. Some third party might call it कि IIT बॉम्बे से IIT कानपुर क्यों आए. But then, so to make things clearer, I had got around 3000 rank in my when I got through IIT JEE in the first time and got IIT बॉम्बे. तो उस समय मेरा MSc इंटीग्रेटेड केमिस्ट्री था. And although I was the department topper और मेरे को ब्रांच चेंज मिल रहा था, I could get a chemical engineering from there as well. But again, पापा का मेरे पे बहुत ज्यादा वो रहा है इन्फ्लुएंस. So I still remember he used to write me letters in those days. 2004 की बात है ये. And I used to
ओके।
keep those letters with me in my book. And I still remember one of those lines that make book your friends and something. मतलब ऐसा कुछ आगे उन्होंने बोला था. अभी आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिकलेक्ट द होल थिंग. बट उस समय किताबों को ही दोस्त बना लो ऐसा करके उन्होंने कुछ लिखा था. एंड इट सो हैपेंड कि मैंने एंड सेमेस्टर छोड़ दिया. मतलब मेरा जो ईयर का एंड सेमेस्टर था, मतलब सेकेंड
सेकंड
सेमेस्टर का
सेमेस्टर।
एग्जामिनेशन था. हाँ. So I dropped it and I thought because it was coinciding with my JEE exam. So मैं बस ऐसे ही, because he was of the opinion कि अभी तुम्हारा साइंस है, एमएससी है, एमएससी केमिस्ट्री फ्रॉम आईआईटी. But then he wanted technology and I completely believed in him, engineering और ये सब उसके prospects. और हमारे यहाँ मतलब इंडिया में ऐसे भी आप अपने एकेडमिक्स को अपने फ्यूचर जॉब से रिलेट करते हो, राइट. सो इट वाज लाइक दैट कि हाँ इंजीनियरिंग होगी तो अच्छा जॉब मिलेगा. So that was the basic idea. And I still remember it very distinctly कि लोग अपनी आईआईटी एग्जाम के लिए इतनी मेहनत करते हैं, इतना नर्वस होते हैं. पेरेंट्स आते हैं बच्चों को मतलब खाना खिला रहे हैं, उनको प्रोटेक्ट कर रहे हैं. एंड I just got up from my bed in the morning and went to that convocation hall of IIT Bombay, और क्योंकि वही मेरा सेंटर था IIT JEE का. And I don't remember if I had prepared for it. Uh, I had not, in all probability. So मैं बस जाके एग्जाम दिया. I got a decent enough rank. Landed up because IIT Kanpur, being from Bihar and all, we had this notion of IIT Kanpur at some helm. So I wanted it very dearly, and that's why I chose that.
या मुझे याद है आउटलुक और इंडिया टुडे में वो रैंकिंग आती थी एवरी
Right.
ईयर, कभी आईआईटी खड़गपुर, कभी आईआईटी कानपुर।
Right.
मैं आईआईटी से नहीं हूँ तो मुझे नहीं पता, मैं आप पे रिलाई कर रहा हूँ, तो अभी उस पे भी आएंगे, मैं उस पे भी थोड़ी
नहीं,
डिटेल में
ऑल्दो
आऊंगा।
आप किसी आईआईटी वाले से पूछो तो इट्स लाइक यार
मैं
आईआईटी बॉम्बे छोड़ के
बिल्कुल
कौन आता है. But then if you ask a Bihari guy, his notion of IIT is like IIT Kanpur is here. So वैसा मेरा भी था. एक बड़े भैया थे पहचान के, तो वो भी कानपुर गए. So I had also like dreamt of कि मैं भी IIT कानपुर से पढ़ूंगा, that kind of a thing. So I just chose that college.
सो इन शॉर्ट अगर मैं ये बोलूँ तो मतलब आईआईटी मुंबई से आप इंजीनियर नहीं बनते, इसलिए आपने आईआईटी कानपुर दोबारा ज्वाइन किया।
Yeah, precisely. all for the love of IIT Kanpur, you can say, because
ओके।
डिपार्टमेंट चेंज तो मेरा हो रहा था, वहां भी मैं
ओके।
इंजीनियर बन जाता वहां से भी।
अच्छा।
अ, क्योंकि उसमें ऐसा कुछ होता है कि 1 साल के बाद यू गेट प्रमोटेड, मतलब अगर आपकी DR1 डिपार्टमेंट रैंक 1 2 अगर है, तो यू गेट अ
So,
ब्रांच चेंज यू।
are there more people like you who, for the love of the institute, do such kind of, I won't call weird because it's an exceptional thing you did, that for the love of IIT Kanpur, they do such things? Or is it unique to Suman Saurabh?
I don't remember anyone doing that precisely, because people do have come from other IITs. I distinctly remember one of my fast friends of IIT Bombay, Raviraj, and he happens to be Harvard alumnus now. And so we had a lot of talks. He came from IIT Delhi to IIT. So
Okay,
people did that in those days, but it was just your own personal wish. And
okay.
yeah.
चलिए अब थोड़ा आगे बढ़ते हैं। तो IIT कानपुर का सफर कैसा था? क्योंकि मैं ये सवाल इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ क्योंकि जो IIT में होते हैं, मेरे आप और कुछ और मित्र भी हैं जो हु आर फ्रॉम डिफरेंट IITs, एंड उनका ये कहना होता है कि यार कुछ भी अलग नहीं है। पर जो बाहर के लोग होते हैं उनके लिए IIT एक तिलिस्म, जो कहते हैं, एक करिश्मा होता है कि।
हम्म।
तो आपका IIT का सफर कैसा था?
तो यार, आई मीन ड्रीम तो डेफिनेटली होता है जाने से पहले कि IIT इज सम बिग थिंग, आई विल नॉट डिनाई दैट फैक्ट। it is there, that charisma of Indian Institute of Technology, and basically I would say the grueling examination. Someone rightly said that it's not what you get after clearing this exam, but in the whole journey what you become, right? So
इन दोज
it's
4 years?
like no, no, no. In fact, just getting into the IIT, I'm
ओके।
telling you, because through the preparation and all, the kind of mind shifts you have, the kind of and it happens almost at every stage, that you can and you are able to discover your own logical strengths. आप realize करते हो कि आप लाखों के कंपटीशन में, बिकॉज सी व्हेन वी आर टॉपर इन स्कूल तो वहां पे लगता है कि ठीक है हम ही हैं तो अपन, ये सारी चीजें, बट व्हेन यू लैंड अप इन द रियल वर्ल्ड तो वहां पे लगता है कि व्हाट वी से एज सम सिंड्रोम क्या बोलते हैं उसको, कि सब मेरे से बेहतर है, ठीक है।
ये मेरे से बेहतर और कोई नहीं जानता होगा दुनिया में शायद।
हाँ, एग्जैक्टली। सो इसका स्पेसिफिक नाम है, यहाँ ISB में बहुत यूज करते हैं इसको, सम सिंड्रोम बोलते हैं इसको। सो सो आई मीन IIT का वो तो था, बट देन वंस यू गेट थ्रू, तब लगता है कि हाँ यार, मतलब इट्स जस्ट लाइक एनी अदर कॉलेज, नो डाउट। आई हैव नॉट सीन अदर कॉलेजेस, बट आई थिंक मोर और लेस एवरी अदर कॉलेज हैज great professors, awesome infrastructure, and all of those things, right? But definitely, one thing which I took from my IIT days, I don't remember probably much of my chemical engineering and whatever, but the kind of attitude it gives you, the kind of confidence it gives you, is really remarkable. So, and definitely a brand. So, I remember one of my alum telling me that he was in some big US school, maybe I don't remember the college, but he said that वहाँ पे 2 साल का MS प्रोग्राम होता था, and he happened to ask his dean कि क्या मैं इसको 1 साल में कर सकता हूँ, and he was like कि तुम कैसे करोगे, and then he said कि नहीं, ये मैं एक्स्ट्रा कोर्सेज ले लूंगा, आपके जितने कोर्सेज आपने 2 साल में किए वो मैं 1 साल में कर लूंगा। And he was like, what's this childish thing? What are you talking about? And then he happened to say he belongs to IIT Kanpur. And then the dean was like, "Ah, फिर तुम कुछ भी कर सकते हो." He actually did it in 1 year. So, I mean, that kind of a thing actually works when you go into the outside.
So it gives you the confidence that you have you have it in you to take on with the world.
Yes, I think so because when you are what I was saying, that thing that you are in one of the best places of the country and you are competing with one of the best in the country. So that kind of gives you whatever CGPA you get, but then uh, the kind of struggle you go through in the whole academic journey uh, basically prepares you for the longer challenges, higher challenges.
हाँ, आपने ये बताया कि आईआईटी से पास करना एक it gives you a different kind of confidence to to take the world's heads on. But how was your journey for those 4 years? Apart from this fact that it gives you confidence.
Uh, so honestly speaking, I think IIT के अंदर जाने के लिए ज्यादा पढ़ाई करी थी, इंडिविजुअली स्पीकिंग। वहां पे बहुत ज्यादा ऐसे उतना स्टूडियस नहीं था जितना उससे पहले था, ठीक है। सो
चलो, माना तो सही कि
वन
हाँ स्टूडियस थे।
हाँ, तो हार्ड वर्किंग था तो स्टूडियस था। नर्डी काइंड ऑफ थिंग वो एक्चुअली होता ही है, हम लोग सब हैं
हम्म,
उसी कैटेगरी का। तो एक्चुअली क्या था कि वहां पे जाकर के अ, जो रैगिंग होती है, सो एज टू से, या सीनियर्स जो भी आपको बताते हैं, सो द पर्सपेक्टिव इज till now you have done acads, right? That's why you are here. But post this, you'll be venturing out into a professional world, and the employers, so as to say, would look at a holistic personality, and you need to develop all these extracurriculars and things like, I mean, something else apart from academics. So मेरा ये शुरू से था कि I have to kind of diversify myself. So इसलिए academics decent enough था. But then I kind of ventured into some industrial projects, some research projects. फिर मैंने मतलब volunteer activities भी की वहाँ पे. And first year, second year, third year, I was doing all these internship projects with some big brands. Um, and और फिर मैं इवेंट मैनेजमेंट, जैसे अपना कल्चरल फेस्टिवल, टेक्निकल फेस्टिवल, उसमें आई वाज एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेटिंग सो एज टू एक्चुअली काइंड ऑफ डेवलप अ होलिस्टिक काइंड ऑफ अ पर्सनालिटी, जो मुझे एलम्स ने, सीनियर्स ने बताया था। सो दैट्स हाउ द
So,
लाइफ वेंट। सम
because
आज भी
I remember in
मेरे फ्रेंड्स।
school it was in when you were in school it was all about academics. You didn't
यस,
bother about
यस,
anything else. So that was a
यस, यस।
change which you जो आप में आया when you joined IIT.
Exactly, exactly. So till IIT, it was all about books, right? And when you are into that college, then it was all about developing perspectives. So you need to involve into a lot of practical steps, doing I mean, managing the events of the level of handling crowds up to 5,000, 10,000, the whole logistics of the event, uh, professional shows, and all of those things, which generally happens in every other college, your cultural, technical festival. And besides that, as I said, that I was a lot interested into research and all. So I was doing internships with Hindustan Unilever. I was in Germany for 3, 4 months for a project with ANSYS. So ये सब करा, and I think all in all it was good enough. I'm not a very sportive person like you, so did not have some special talent, but कुछ अच्छे friends बनाए। आज भी वो, जैसे हमारी बात होती है, there are few people to am friends जिनको कहते हैं, बहुत ज्यादा नहीं, but then all those memories and everything you have. So those 4 years, definitely your undergrad is a great memory which you carry along in your life.
Okay. तो आईआईटी पास आउट करने के बाद आपने बताया कि आपने सेल ज्वाइन किया था स्टील अथॉरिटी इंडिया लिमिटेड, और फिर उसके
Right,
बाद 6 महीने के लिए सूर्या ज्वाइन किया। फिर फिर
right,
फिर एक एक दूसरी का ये इतनी जल्दी जल्दी जॉब चेंज करने का।
right. So As I told you, it was a recession year. 2009, I graduated out of IIT Kanpur, and I think one of the worst years in the history of the college, uh, wherein there were hardly very few companies, and I got this offer from sale after like 2 months placement के बाद, मतलब placement if it starts in November, so I got a job in somewhere around Jan Feb, something like that. And that too, I distinctly remember that person who had interviewed me from sale, he kind of took an undertaking from me that you will join this organization, and on that undertaking he actually took me. So वो सेल की जर्नी थी. I was there, but मेरी पोस्टिंग थी बनपुर में, आसनसोल के पास एक छोटी सी जगह है. एंड आई वाज देयर. तो एक्चुअली जब आप इस सब तरह की जगह पे होते हो, यू हैव ऑल दीज फैंटेसीज, ड्रीम्स कि आप कुछ बड़ा करोगे. एंड आई एम put up in a situation which was not altogether bad, but then being in a manufacturing sector right after the college, getting all those just working with all the blue collared workers, and getting work done from them was itself a challenge. I was there for 4 months and did not actually plan to leave it, but it so happened that I I was actually applying for a leave, and my boss denied me that because of the worker constraint. He was justified, but somewhere or the other, it was going on in my mind that I have to leave this, I have to leave this, and it just acted as a trigger. So I resigned, and then at the same time, I had this offer from Surya Roshni. So I was there with the MD of the company. So वहाँ पे 6 महीने रहा. It was a good phase wherein I got to travel a lot, meet with big shots like CM of Karnataka, येडियुरप्पा जी थे उस समय, नरेंद्र मोदी जी थे CM of गुजरात. तो ग्लोबल इन्वेस्टर समिट और सब में जाते थे. आई वाज विद द MD, and it was great as in terms of travel and everything. Uh, but then one of my friends was in BlackRock, and after these 6 months of very hectic travel, I actually wanted to settle down and actually associate myself with a bigger brand. And finally, after a year out of IIT, I think in BlackRock I found my passion, so as to say, or the kind of place which I deserve getting out of IIT. So uh, that's where I landed up for 2 years.
ओके, तो अभी आपने बताया कि यू हैव ऑलरेडी मेट आवर प्राइम मिनिस्टर व्हेन ही वाज अ सीएम. हाउ वाज इट?
Uh, so, uh, so
Just a
not
bit curious.
exactly. Yeah. So I did not actually meet him. To clarify this thing, I met Mr. Yediyurappa ji, but we were scheduled to meet Modi ji, but then he had to go on some urgent visit. So उस टाइम उनसे मुलाकात नहीं हुई, but we had gone to meet him. उनसे मुलाकात नहीं हुई, so we met his
Okay.
principal secretary at that time. So yeah, so अच्छा था यार, मतलब meeting all these big shots, as in seeing them from so close is definitely a great experience. And how do they work, and especially when you are with the MD of your company, and the kind of talks they have, the kind of vision and strategy do they talk about for the country, for the company. All of that is very good, especially the intentions behind these policy making and everything. So we were there for the global investor meet in Karnataka, if I remember it correctly. And in Gujarat, we were planning to come up with some mining mining plant or something like that. So we had gone to talk about the resource facilitation and things like that. So it was all in all a very good experience and enriching, fulfilling experience. Uh, but then my priorities were different back then.
Okay. So you just now said you found your passion at BlackRock. BlackRock,
Yeah.
for those who don't know, is a huge financial firm. Uh,
Yeah.
and it's an honor, a privilege to work over there. तो
Right.
वहां पहुंच के भी मन नहीं भरा?
So no, so Bhala, actually I worked there for 2 years, right? So for 4 months, 6 months, and then 2 years I was in
Okay,
BlackRock.
so
So
it's like
yeah,
four times the last company, so that's huge. I give that to you.
exactly. Yeah. So just to add on, I mean, the size of BlackRock for the viewers who don't know. So our economy, Indian economy, is now about 2 trillions, about something like that,
Three three
and
$3 billion.
2.5 now,
Okay,
2.5 trillion, 2.5 trillion,
trillion
touching
dollar. Sorry,
2.5 trillion.
trillion
Yeah.
dollar. Yeah.
And BlackRock in those days, I've not checked the figure recently, but in those days, 10 years ago, we used to manage, I mean, not me, but BlackRock used to manage 14.5 trillion US dollars. So it's that big a firm. If in Google you can search the largest money manager, it comes BlackRock. So uh, it
Do they
was
manage
at
your
my
portfolio now?
no. So they
One day.
are yeah.
Okay,
So
so
I hope
sorry. Go go on.
yeah. Yeah. So so my profile there was as a techno financial analyst kind of a thing. So I was working in the securitization business. It's fixed income securities. For the viewers who don't know, you can search about asset-backed securities, commercial mortgage-backed securities. These are few technical things, but I mean, I was developing that product, doing coding, understanding the financial part, and doing making that product. So developing that as well. So it was a very hot shot kind of a job in those era, at least. I used to get the usual calls from JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, all those big firms, investment bankers. So it was very, very fulfilling. Within 2 years or within 1 year, I suppose I was promoted. I was awarded by the CEO of BlackRock. But then, as you rightly mentioned, that after 2 years, that बिहारी कीड़ा ने काट लिया या जो भी है, so IS करना है अब. Got bored again, and I wanted to actually explore something else. So wanted a kind of a job जो कि मेरे को थोड़ा diversification चाहिए था.
हम क्योंकि
I
मेरा
could not
अगला
stay.
सवाल यही था, अगला सवाल मैं यही
Uh,
इसी पे आना चाहता था कि आईएएस क्यों करना चाहते थे, और
right.
आज जब 10 साल बाद पीछे मुड़ के देखते हैं तो क्या कभी अफसोस होता है कि ब्लैक रॉक क्यों छोड़ा, या इतनी जल्दी
Okay.
क्यों छोड़ा?
Right. Right. So uh, not exactly, but yeah. See, one of the things I had heard कि everyone is in their time zone. राइट. सो सबकी अपनी जर्नी है, सबके अपने चैलेंजेस है, सबकी अपनी प्रायोरिटीज है, राइट. यू जस्ट चेंज वन और टू डिसीजंस ऑफ योर लाइफ एंड यू लैंड अप एट अ डिफरेंट प्लेस. सो या अगर ब्लैक रॉक में मैं होता तो आई वुड हैव बीन प्रॉब्ली, and few of my friends are director and MD in various companies. Uh, uh, at times we have chat as well, but then it was a decision, and back then I think as a 23, 24-year-old self, I thought at that point of time that IAS or UPSC, so as to say, was my calling. And मैं उस समय इसलिए करना चाहता था. The prime reason being was one of the thing I think all through my journey which has been running consistently, was something to look forward to, right? So I always wanted to have that growth, that kind of progressive career.
मतलब हर
So
दिन
मुझे
आज जो
ऐसा
है उससे आगे क्या हो सकता है?
राइट. राइट. सो मुझे ऐसा लगा कि बिकॉज मेरा जो बताया कि पढ़ाई लिखाई में थोड़ा इंटरेस्ट था. सो एंड एज आई टोल्ड दैट आई वाज नॉट एक्सेप्शनली ब्रिलियंट और जीनियस सो एज टू से. सो आई थिंक मुझे ऐसा लगा कि यूपीएससी आई कैन डू, बिकॉज फ्यू ऑफ माय फ्रेंड्स और जिनसे भी पता चला था कि द ओनली थिंग रिक्वायर्ड इन यूपीएससी इज द हार्ड वर्क, एंड आई न्यू दैट आई कैन डू इट. So इसलिए that one of the reason in terms of feasibility. And in terms of wanting it, I think as a civil servant, you get to explore a lot. You work uh, in one department for some time, then you move and all those things. So वो एक boredom नहीं रहती. So that kind of inspired me to prepare for it, and it was as the second part of your question that आपको अफसोस होता है, तो I'd say not really, because in fact through your channel I can maybe ask my viewers or whoever is interested that सबको यूपीएससी की प्रिपरेशन तो एक बार करनी चाहिए, because it gives you a perspective, it gives you a lot of perspective in fact. So the kind
The
of
I,
subjects you read, that kind of broadens your horizon. And although मेरा नहीं हुआ, बहुत नजदीक तक जाके नहीं हुआ, but still वो जो preparation से जो मैंने लिया, it has been a part of my system, and I think going forth, it will definitely help me in my.
so coming back to that journey of IAS preparation, uh, on and off, I have always been in touch with you to know the whole thing. Uh, was it just hard work and dedication which failed you, or was there something else which was beyond your control? No,
Yeah,
I
so
want to bring that part to the audience, but I would like that to come from you.
right. So yeah, so one of the major things which in this whole journey was kind of missed out was I just wanted to share, and taking a step back when I was appearing for my IIT JEE, the first attempt, when I got IIT Bombay. A week ago, I was admitted in AIMS. And reason being, I had this something called writer's cramp, focal dystonia, and the doctors
Can you please
they had
repeat?
actually
Can you please repeat that? Writer's cramp.
writers writers cramp writers cramp focal dystonia बोलते हैं इस बीमारी
Foc
को.
focal dystonia.
फोकल फोकल डिस्टोनिया या राइटर्स क्रैम्प, यू कैन गूगल अबाउट इट. सो उसमें क्या होता है कि आप बहुत ज्यादा देर लिख नहीं पाते. सो पेन छूट जाता है आपके हाथ से, योर हैंड गेट स्टिफ, एंड बेसिकली जो फाइनल मूवमेंट्स होते हैं आपके न्यूरॉन्स के और वो सब, वो आप बेसिकली कर नहीं पाते हो, बाकी सारे काम कर सकते हो, लिख नहीं सकते, इसलिए उसका नाम राइटर्स क्रैम्प. सो ये मुझे आईआईटी एग्जाम से हफ्ता भर पहले डायग्नोस हुआ था. And doctors actually advised me to change your career, and I distinctly remember my parents saying that अभी ये पढ़ लिख नहीं पाएगा, and that was the thing. And a week before the exam, so there is an injection by the name of botulinum toxin. उस समय में वो 20-25 हजार का आता था, I don't remember, but somewhere around it. And
Yeah,
so it was a costly one, but
you are talking somewhere around 2002, 3,
2004,
or
2004.
2004. Okay.
या सो उस समय वो इंजेक्शन मुझे एम्स में बोला गया था लेने के लिए, ताकि आप एग्जाम दे सको, बिकॉज हफ्ते भर के बाद मेरा वो एग्जाम था. एंड टारगेट था कि इट विल टेक सम टाइम टू शो इट्स इफेक्ट, राइट, एंड उसका साइड इफेक्ट भी हो सकता था. देयर माइट बी अ केस जब आपके मूवमेंट्स पे आपका कंट्रोल नहीं रहेगा, इनवॉलेंट्री मसल मूवमेंट होने लगेगा, ये सब. सो एक cautious decision उस समय लेना था, and I actually decided not to take it and appeared in the exam. So just with the grace of God and willpower, I would say that I appeared, and because उस समय बहुत लिखना नहीं होता, we had like physics, chemistry, maths, right? We have to write numbers. It's not like writing a paragraph or something like that. So उस वो लिखना और नंबर लिखने में फर्क है. uh, सो उस समय मैंने वो आईआईटी निकाल लिया. बट देन जब ये आईएएस करने की बारी आई, तो आईएएस में ऑल ऑफ अस
It came
नो
back
दैट
haunting you.
बहुत लिखना होता है. या सो बहुत लिखना होता है, 9 पेपर्स, 3 hours each पेपर, 27 घंटे लिखना है आपको. एंड फिनिशिंग अप द पेपर itself was a huge challenge for me. एंड लिखने के बाद आपकी हैंड राइटिंग पता नहीं चलेगी. सो आई एक्चुअली फॉट really hard, and because it was told that I could not do it, that's why I decided that I'll do it. And that's how some power or some willpower was working there, and parents का आशीर्वाद, आप सब दोस्तों का well wishes. So I actually tried, but yeah, maybe that might have been an effect, कि मेरी राइटिंग या मुझे अचीवमेंट इसी में लगता था कि आई कुड कंप्लीट माय पेपर. सो ये सारी चीजें मैंने करी, बट दैट कुड हैव बीन एन इन्फ्लुएंस मेरे नहीं होने में. एंड प्रॉब्ली आई ऑल्सो नॉट लेफ्ट द जॉब आई वाज डूइंग प्रिपरेशन along with my job all through this time. So ये सब हो सकता है
So,
प्रॉब्लम.
so if I look back at your journey, like IIT ज्वाइन करने के पहले 1-2 साल आपको मेहनत लगी, so you must have failed at a couple of times at G. Then again
Right.
प्लेसमेंट के टाइम पे रिसेशन आ गया, फिर
हम्म.
वहां भी थोड़ी बहुत कुछ करके आगे बढ़े, फिर आईएएस आया. तो यहां तक आने तक आप लड़ झगड़ के किसी तरह से जीत जाते थे, और
Right.
ये फर्स्ट टाइम था where Suman Saurabh has to quit,
Right.
because all throughout what you just now said to us, either easy or hard, you have been able to achieve that. So
Right.
how difficult it was to let this go and surrender that ये नहीं हो पाएगा.
नहीं, so definitely it was disappointing. I'd not be right if I say that I could easily move on. It was definitely a phase of real disappointment
Yeah,
in the whole
because
system.
probably knowing you, and yeah, you have already told my viewers that we have known each other since we have known us.
Right.
I know you since I know myself,
Right. Right.
and I have never seen you quitting. Somehow or the
Right.
other, you always find a way to get the thing done. And
Um, and through this channel, sorry to interrupt you. I'd really like to apologize. I could not be in your marriage because of my IS
oh,
examination.
yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
remember you were appearing
yeah,
for your IES examination at
yeah.
that point of time. Yeah, yeah, coming back to where we were, that
Mm.
so as I was saying that this is the first time you quit.
Right.
You decided, or it came to you, यार नहीं हो सकता है ये, अब
Mm.
आगे बढ़ते हैं, अब कुछ और देखते हैं. इसके पहले कभी ऐसा नहीं
Mm.
हुआ था. वो इसके
Right.
पहले हमेशा you have
हाँ, लड़ झगड़ के मिल ही जाता था.
you got what you wanted, and then you left it, and then you moved further.
Right.
So how different was this, and how difficult it was?
So, as I was saying, it was really very difficult, and it was a phase when, joining ONGC, the sole motive was getting through UPSC. So, the day I joined ONGC, I'm not sure whether I should say this or not. I was very sure that I have to leave the organization, and it went on for few years, and finally, in the final attempt, when I could not finally qualify, even though I reached the interview stage. So it was really heartbreaking. It was really disappointing for me, for my family. We tried a lot. Uh, not to shy away from any of those disappointing feelings. But yeah, I had a job. So that was one big thing. Not everything was gone. And honestly telling you, during those days, I met my wife and we kind of got married. So मौका नहीं मिला एक्चुअली. सो वी
अफसोस
आई
करने का
हैड टू
मौका नहीं
एक्चुअली
मिला.
कैरी हमें मौका नहीं मिला अफसोस करने का. सो आई हैड टू आई मीन
but 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 yeah,
move into
still
the second
whatever
stage of life.
Yeah, if we consider working in ONGC as something, if I give a perspective, it is probably one of the most sought after government job in India to work at ONGC.
Right,
People
right.
spend years and year ending up there, and you were working there just to think that I need to go from here. So that's the difference. And probably you worked there for the longest, I think 10 years, right?
Yes, 10 years, 10 years, just.
So that was God's way
So,
of that you are considering 2 years as a long time. So he made you work for 10 years over at ONGC.
right,
How difficult
that.
was you said that you always wanted to leave ONGC. How difficult
Mhm.
it was to survive in ONGC? To stay for
Uh,
10 years at a place where you don't want to be, knowing that
right.
all throughout your life you have done so good
Mhm.
than living in a
No,
remote
so
part of India.
so just to clarify, I was in ONGC for 7 years in their head office. I was in Delhi, and
Okay,
last 3 years I was in Assam.
okay.
Uh, but I think, just one clarification, ONGC is a great organization and people love being there. I also happen to remember my ONGC days now, and in retrospect, I think everything was worth it. But yeah, I mean, जो आपने आईआईटी वाली बात कही, you want it or not, some way or the other, you kind of compare yourself with maybe friends or maybe what you could have done, right? Even not for your friends, maybe you had a caliber to achieve something more, right? And being, although in one of the best public sectors of the country, there was a limit to the growth, and all of us would agree that how a government organization functions. So in that sense, I thought that probably I deserved better, or I could contribute at a much bigger scale. So that was a bit of a challenge in terms of what I was thinking and where I was. But all in all, it was a good experience. I learned a lot. Moving from a fintech kind of a role to a supply chain and procurement kind of a role, wherein I was doing this purchase of the order of contracts of the order of thousands of crores, and the scale was huge. I could see the northeastern part of the country where I don't know, I don't imagine when I could go next. So I think it was all in all, in retrospect, I think all well that ends well, and ONGC is kind of good. I really remember the organization and the
but
people
but
out there. They are
so what was missing that brought you back to academics after like almost 10 years?
true. So see, one thing that missed out here as well when I was telling you that how I recovered from that failure of IS. So after a year when I was settled with my spouse and everything, I again thought that I was so close to getting into the examination and could not get it for some reason or the other. Uh, so I loved teaching. So parallel to my job, I started teaching for civil services. I taught general studies. I taught ethics, and I was doing it because I kind of was finding my passion outside of the job. So somewhere, as I said, that the linking string in all my journey was a progressive kind of a career wherein you have something to look forward to, some growth which you are seeing, be it through academics or through your professional journey, right? So that was the thing in me. So after 10 years, I mean, I thought of what next. So maybe at that stage, at that point of time, I prepared for GMAT, and then I got this call from Indian School of Business, and that's how I'm here. So it's all about. your mindset. So as I said, that I always aspire to grow further in career, and that's why I learn more. So that kind of a thing was always there in me, and it still is. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a very uh, challenging journey, I would say. I don't know how many people can live through it, live through it with a smile, and at the end uh, make it a successful journey. Uh, what next?
Uh, so I've got a job offer from Genpact. I'm joining Genpact as the Vice President, Global Technology Services. Uh, and that is currently which I'll be doing post March. And let's see where the life takes me next.
Uh, one question I have for the probably on behalf of the St. Karen student that uh, we all met there, we all had our journey over there. Would you like to visit there someday?
Ten
Yes.
for sure. Of course, we were having that chat that night, I think. Uh, I mean, all of us owe to the school, all of us owe to our alma mater, be it our college, be it our school, be it our teacher.
I'll give you one example where the probably you might not even know. When we were in standard sixth, and I was called by one of our teacher to help her in doing the calculation after the paper correction, because she was struggling to finish on time, and she needed someone whom she can trust to note the numbers. And that was 80 marks question paper, and I got 79. And there were two people who got 79 and a half and 80. One got 79 and a half and one 80. One was with very bad handwriting, which uh, which I am telling because I was probably jealous that how can somebody with not I didn't have a good handwriting, but a bit less than me. How can get 79? And my teacher told that he's probably the uh, most accomplished student she has ever seen. And then there was somebody with 80 marks, and she was like, ये तो कुछ बोलता ही नहीं है। जब मुझे उससे कुछ निकालना होता है तो मुझे उसका कान पकड़ के ऐसे रेडियो स्टेशन की तरह घुमाना पड़ता है, और जैसे ही जब वो कान घूमता है तो सारे जवाब फट 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 निकलने शुरू हो जाते हैं। तो 79.5 वाला स्टूडेंट जो था वो हमारे स्कूल का एल्यूमनाई विशाल कीर्ति, और 80 वाला जो स्टूडेंट था वो आप थे। और
Oh, really? Thank you.
हाँ, तो
But
अ,
again, communication skill उस समय भी bad थी, अभी भी है।
हाँ, नहीं, अभी तो खैर मतलब आपने इतना कुछ बोला है पिछले आधे एक घंटे में कि शायद मैंने जिंदगी में कभी भी इतना बोलते हुए नहीं सुना था। तो अभी काफी कुछ बदल गया है, बहुत कुछ अच्छा हो गया है, बेहतर हो गया है। एंड
And
आई
which
वुड
class was it? I mean,
इट वाज इन
I don't
स्टैंडर्ड
remember.
सिक्स्थ It was in
अच्छा,
standard sixth, and the teacher was Mrs. Abha Chaudhary.
अच्छा,
Yeah, so I'm still in touch with her. I met
oh
her,
wow.
and she this I remember. This incident I
Mhm.
remember. So that is just an anecdote to show that, yeah, people had confidence in your abilities uh, back then, and it's so good to see that you have converted that ability into a real success, a thing for quite a lot of people to uh, see, especially from uh, from a place where you could not even write properly, to end up being a vice president of an IT company. Uh, it, it it's a hell lot of a journey, and some sort of reminder to everyone that uh, which they must have heard all along: where there is a will, there is a way. So, on that note, Suman, thank you very much to come and join me for
Thank you,
this chat.
Sharad. It's a mutual admiration, and I must say to all your viewers that I kind of respect you from the bottom of my heart, and you are and you were, you know that you have been the first friend of my life, and you'll always be. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Suman.
Thank you.
Bye.